Hello, Danvers, and welcome to Lead On. My name is Gayla Bartlett, and as you know, this show is dedicated to talking about community leaders, people that are doing great things in our community to help others. I'm very excited today to have my good friend with me, Helene Palmer, and we are going to talk about her breast cancer journey. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and when we talk about rock stars, you, my friend, are a rock star.
Thank you very much, Gayla.
Thank you for coming. First of all, we met back in what year was that?
2018.
Because you were Miss Pink.
I won the Miss Pink breast cancer pageant,
yeah.
Which is where a group of survivors are taken out for a day of pampering, and we're given a beautiful ball gown, and we just share our story at a large event, and at the end of the night, I was crowned Miss Pink.
Which was amazing.
Which was a big shock.
And I
did the full Miss World moment.
I have been following you ever since. So
thank you.
I think because this is October, that's why I definitely wanted to have you on, because you are a breast cancer survivor and you are such a voice for those that are surviving, that have gone through the journey, that are continuing to go through the journey, and we need more people like you in our world. I call you a crusader because you have the voice for others.
At the battle.
You do battle. So if you don't mind telling everybody, I mean, what did your journey start like?
Sure. Well, my breast cancer awareness really started when we lost my mother to breast cancer in 1994. I was 22 when she passed away. She was just 55. And so when I came over to the United States to live, I discovered Making Strides Against Breast Cancer for the American Cancer Society on the back of a TPAS. And I said, oh, I'll go check that out. And I stood in front of the hat shell, cried my eyes out, and said, I got to do this again next year. Got to do this again. So I got involved in fundraising. Hadn't really done any fundraising before, but I got started in fundraising, volunteering for Relay for Life for the American Cancer Society, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, selling daffodils, and eventually the American Cancer Society even recruited me for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, I worked for the Cancer Society for 3 years.
Wow, great.
And then I went back into the corporate world. But I have maintained volunteering ever since. So it's been almost 30 years as far as my relationship with the American Cancer Society, because I see their programs of research, education, advocacy, and patient support. So they really wrap their arms around cancer as a whole problem and take care of people all through the stages of their journey with cancer.
Which is beautiful.
Thank you.
But you are a breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
So you were diagnosed in?
We said 1994, 2014. And it was actually right in between changing jobs. And I'd written myself a post-it at some point saying, reschedule mammogram, ? And luckily I didn't. I'd paid for the COBRA health insurance for the month.
Good.
And I was like, no, I probably shouldn't reschedule those things.
Right.
Do not reschedule your mammograms. So I knew I was in trouble when I had the mammogram on a Saturday afternoon in Boston. I remember driving away going, oh, that was so convenient. Don't have to pay for parking. That was great. And my phone rang before 9 o'clock on the Monday morning and said, we need you to come back in for another mammogram and maybe an ultrasound. And I got very concerned, and then had the extra mammogram. They said, stand out here, we'll let you know if we need an ultrasound. They came right back out and got me for the ultrasound. So I was like, I know I'm in trouble. And the chatty ultrasound technologist suddenly went quiet and said, I'll be right back. And I could see the tumor on the screen. So that whole week I was actually preparing to ride 100 miles for the American Cancer Society's Bicycles Battling Cancer ride, in honor of the year that we had lost my mother 20 years before. And so through that whole week of testing and diagnosis, I kept crying and saying, I can't have cancer. I'm riding for the American Cancer Society on Sunday. So my surgeon was incredible and made sure I got the diagnosis before the ride. And it was stage 1. And when we were discussing, I said, did I miss something on my self-examinations? She said, no, if your tumor had gotten to a stage where you could feel it, your prognosis would be a lot different.
Wow. So your mammogram saved you.
It did. And I know they don't work for everybody,
Right.
but they are one of the best tests out there right now. And that's where the Cancer Society keeps funding new testing, new screening, blood screening, every other kind of screening. So I went through ultrasounds and MRIs and 2 lumpectomies and then eventually a double mastectomy. I avoided chemo radiation, but let me tell you, reconstruction is no joke.
Right.
A lot of stress anyway. Too, and after 10 years, touch wood, still kicking, still
awesome.
Still making a difference.
You're doing great. And when you
Thank
talked
you.
about making strides against breast cancer, you just did that recently?
Yes, yep, last Saturday.
Last Saturday?
At the Boston Hat Shell, and it was amazing. It's always such a powerful experience to see people walking memory of people, but also, you know, Sue's team and people with their T-shirt, and then you see Sue.
Right.
And meeting other survivors, OG survivors, I like to call them. I met a baby survivor this morning. Hi, Crystal. And she is 2 years post-diagnosis, so everything's always very stressful.
Yep.
And I said, well, I'm a 10-year survivor, so you're a baby survivor. I'm an OG. And I said, the great thing about making strides, I met women who were there 30 years post-diagnosis.
And that's amazing.
So that's reassuring for me.
Yes.
And we're in Boston, the center of the universe for cancer research, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
So it was wonderful to be there and just be around tribe and offer support to some of the baby survivors who were like, oh, I don't really feel like I'm a survivor yet because I haven't hit 5 years. Honey, you're a survivor from day 1 of diagnosis.
Right.
You keep your head up, you keep walking forward, get out of bed in the morning, keep on trucking. You're a survivor.
I love that. And I love that, like you said, there's a tribe.
Yes.
So there's a tribe of survivors that are there for each other to support each other and do wonderful things. And now when you talk about bicycles battling cancer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you started, I didn't realize you started the journey all the way back when your mom was diagnosed, and you continue to do this. But everybody needs to know that she fundraises too. And when I talk about a fundraising guru, oh my goodness, I get so excited every time on your Facebook page you post, okay, so this one's donated, we're raffling this. Okay, so I donate my $10. It goes to your team,
Yep.
which is exciting because I love, she's just, so you know, she's one of the top 5 right now. She was, yes, very excited. Woo-hoo-hoo. So, you know, you donate, and then she does the spinny wheel. And I'm always like watching The Price is Right. What's the one with the spinny wheel? Is that
I think it...
Not The Price is Right. No, what is that game with the spinny wheel? It's a game
Wheel of
show.
Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. That's what I feel like I'm watching. And I'm there, and she hits the spinny wheel, and I'm like, come on, so close, so close, so close. But it's so exciting that, you know, you make fundraising fun.
Yes.
But what you're raising for is amazing.
Yeah.
And that you continue to do this. It's like, it's almost like I know that breast cancer is part of you. It will always be part of you, part of your identity, part of what you know, because you are a survivor, you're strong. And what's so great about you is that you take your story, you take your mission, and you spread it.
Yes.
Whereas some people, they don't want to talk about it.
And that's fine.
It is fine.
Everybody's journey is their
Right.
own. Everybody wants to handle it their own way. My mother was very stoic, quiet, reserved. This is not to be discussed outside of the family. And for me, it was an opportunity to educate other people, to share the Cancer Society website, to share our 800 number, 1-800-ACS-2345, which is manned 24/7. So if you have a cancer question, you can call in the middle of the night, and there will be a cancer-trained specialist to answer your question. And 90% of my focus is on breast cancer, but now I also raise money in honor of my father, who we lost in 2020 to glioblastoma, which is a brain cancer. So that's why I keep fundraising for bicycles battling cancer too, because that money goes to breast cancer, but it also goes to brain cancer.
Wow.
And when you go to places like the Hope Lodge in Boston, where the Cancer Society provides free accommodation to patients and their caregivers who would have to travel long distances for clinical trials or a month of treatment. Can you imagine paying for a month of hotel costs in Boston?
No.
You'd be out in the streets. So the Cancer Society provides the hotel, and all they have to do is provide their own food.
Wow.
And they're right on the edge of the medical district, and the community that gets built at the Hope Lodge. That's what the Bicycles Battling Cancer and Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, where the money goes. And Relay for Life. I'm just not involved in Relay for Life anymore, and Relay for Life.
I think the two are enough.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Bicycles, walking. I'm like, well, you're definitely getting all your steps in.
Yes.
There's steps going on here.
Working it.
But you also, I know you do like potlucks or you volunteer at the lodge, because I've seen posts about that as well.
Yeah.
Which I think is amazing, because, one thing about social media is, yes, it can be negative, and we see things and, bad things, but I've learned so much about cancer research and cancer journeys through what you do. And I think that's so crucial that you post all these great things. It's like, I didn't know about the lodge. I didn't know about this. Oh, what's Helen doing this week? Oh, where is she today? and it says, do you want more of Helen in your feed? I'm like, yes. Because, positive light and energy is definitely what you bring to the table. And that's huge. Got my goosebumps. But I learned so much. And I think we need people out there. Like I said, you're a crusader. You're there. You're the fighter. But we need to educate. And the fact that you're doing the potlucks and volunteering there. And I don't know how you find time between your full-time job and then we do all our fundraising.
Yeah.
But you still have a life because you're still out there having fun.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. And I can just imagine the relationships and the different tribes that you have in all these different organizations that you're a part of.
Yes. Yeah. It's a community that you don't want to be part of.
Right.
But once you're part of it, you're in the club, you're locked in for life. I have met people that I would never have met through my work or my personal social life. They weren't in that circle. But I've met people now who I am stuck to for life. We're lobsters.
I love it.
One of them recently moved to Alabama. Hi, Kim. And but we're still very close. We're still great friends. I would be there. We are there for each other whenever we need help or support. We're just a phone call away.
Absolutely beautiful. So when is your next bicycle adventure?
The next bicycles, it will be in September 2025, but we are still fundraising for this year.
Okay.
And I'd love to kind of push up that little total a little bit.
You're close. Aren't we close?
A little more money, a little donation to get me to the 5,000 point would be very gratefully appreciated.
So you've got to tell everybody how they can donate.
You can donate at www.bicyclesbattlingcancer.org. And just do a search for my name. It's spelled Helene, Helene, Palmer, Palmer. Biking Warriors. And
I love it.
Biking Warriors are named in honor of my mother, who was Norwegian, so I always try to encircle the Viking tribe.
And I love the Viking tribe.
Yes.
I think that's great. It's strong.
We stay strong.
Great. So what do you have? So you're doing this. You continue to fundraise.
Yeah.
And after that, we go right. Are you going to go back into strides or?
Go back into planning for next year for the bicycle ride.
All right.
I've got year-round fundraising to keep up.
I know you do.
And thank you for your donation from Texas Roadhouse in Denver.
Absolutely.
That was
Our
very
pleasure.
gratefully appreciated.
Anything to support you.
Thank
We're
you.
glad to have you here. And because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we want to definitely tell people mammograms.
Lovely. Yes. Mammograms, follow up. Do not reschedule, especially mothers who have busy lives with their children. I'm not blessed enough to have children, but mothers, I know you're busy with your kids, but if you need to stay around for your kids, so you need to take time for yourself as well. And also, please be aware that it's not just a disease for women over 40. There are increasing numbers of women under 40 being diagnosed with breast cancer. So if you feel a lump or a bump or something looks different, go to your doctor. I would rather, and the doctors would rather people come and get checked out and say, okay, it's nothing, than wait 6 months, a year until your first mammogram. It was only my second mammogram when I got diagnosed.
Wow.
So, the lady I met this morning had just had her mammogram a couple of months before, and she just noticed a change, and it was advanced cancer at that point.
Oh my goodness.
And she felt fine. She
Right.
looked fine. She felt fine. She just noticed, oh, that changed,
Yeah.
and went to the doctor, and she got diagnosed. And if she'd waited for the next mammogram, her prognosis, like mine, would have been a lot different.
I think it's really important as women and men
Yes.
that we listen to our bodies
Yes.
and that we advocate for ourselves.
Yes.
And that we take that, if something's not right, we take care of it and we go.
Yes.
Instead of saying, oh, it'll go away, or I'll do this later, like you said. And I think in today's world, we have to advocate for ourselves. We have
Yes.
to fight for ourselves, and the doctor's office might say, oh, or the nurse might call back and say, well, it doesn't sound. No, I need to come in.
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
coming in.
You have to
make that
advocate for
appointment.
yourself. Yes, because the medical community is so stressed out. They are
Right.
so busy, but they need to see you. If you say something's different, then you need to get it checked out.
Right.
And thank you for mentioning that men also get breast cancer. I
Yep.
have met 2 male breast cancer survivors over the last 20 years or so. So men, check yourselves too.
Absolutely. And I think what you said today about the cancer hotline,
Yep.
another wow moment. If you could give that phone number again.
Yep. 1-800-ACS-2345.
Beautiful.
And also the website is www.cancer.org, because there are so many different websites out there. I mean, the worst thing you can do when you have a diagnosis is Google, I just got diagnosed with breast cancer.
Don't Google it.
Don't Google. No to the Google. But go on to the cancer.org website. It is well defined, easy to understand for us non-medical people. And there are, like I said, trained cancer specialists at the end of the 1-800-ACS-2345 line who can provide you more information. And they will walk you through everything, finding local support, what to expect. And it's just amazing. I've called them several times. I called them when my dad was diagnosed. I called them when I was diagnosed, and received a lot of information and support. And just reach out to your tribe. Nobody gets through cancer alone.
Right.
But when you, like I said in my 2018 Miss Pink speech, when you have knowledge, you have a power that cancer doesn't have.
I love that.
So that is kind of my mission. I don't have kids, don't have a family in this country, but I do have a knowledge and a power that I'm ready and able to share.
And you, my friend, are amazing.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on the show today
Thank you,
and
my
educating everybody and sharing your story, your fight, and what you continue to do, which we all need. So thank you. And join us next time, Danvers, as we meet some other amazing local community members that are doing great things for all of us. Until next time, Danvers, stay well.